So rotary polisher is also known as a high-speed buffer.
But
All
it's
right.
not so high speed
It's not so high speed. Why is that, Dave?
because you don't really spin it that high. It's actually relatively a low speed if you compare it to like other grinders on the market, and traditionally and primarily these were grinders, right? I mean, the first Milwaukee and Makita polishers and stuff like that, they're more like grinding tools that were adapted to be buffing tools. So even if you look at some of the other rotary tools that spin faster for grinders, that's what we would use to polish metal, right? You want to go a little
Sure.
bit higher speed, so you can get a different type of polishing effect. They are a low speed polisher. They run, I mean, usually we want to run them somewhere around 800 to 1500 RPM. A lot of people usually operate in the 1200 to 1500 operation for like most of their work. And then you
Yep.
can dial down all the way down into 500 or 800 RPMs on some tools, to do like really kind of fine skilled edge work
Edge
and
work.
things like that. Yeah.
Edge work and finishing work.
Yeah.
So one of the things when I first started doing this, we had the older tools, and not in the beginning, the older tools didn't have the speed controls. And so now some of the modern rotary polishers have the speed control integrated into the switch, so you can tailor your speed almost in real time. So if you're paint correcting and you come up to a vulnerable area like an edge, you can slow the machine down and work those areas in a different capacity. So
Yeah.
that's a good point, even though they're called high speed buffers. But one of the things I love about rotaries specifically is they don't stall. It's a continuous action with the rotary. And there's a lot of stigmas about people burning paint with a rotary polisher, Dave. And where do you think that stems from?
I would say it stems a lot from friction and just the way that the rotary buffer's been used in the
Mm-hmm.
United States primarily. So like if you go back into like just the basic understanding of a rotary, you know, 10, 20 years ago, almost everybody that was the main tool, whether you were in a body shop, detail shop, whatever, the rotary tool was primarily the only tool. And in the US, we had a pretty large backing plate. So like if you look at the old system of like the 3M system is a very, very popular system that was used for very many years. It uses a 7 or 8 inch,
Bonnet,
yeah,
wool pad.
or pad. And at a certain point, body shops wanted to start reducing the amount of lint and I don't know, just the contaminants in the air inside of a body shop. So there was this transition over into polyurethane foam pads. And that's when we started to see the 3M waffle pad, things like
Correct.
that. When you have a very large rotating mass of 7 or 8 inches, and then you pair that with a foam pad, you create a lot of heat that you don't normally see in a wool pad. And that's where you started to see, a lot of burning of fresh paint that was very soft combined with the friction, or just the idea of having a very large pad and maybe buffing one panel and not realizing the edge of the pad was touching an adjacent panel and burnt an edge there. So if you understand the basics of how to spin the pad, which we'll talk about, in depth more, they're a very precision based tool. And I kind of consider them a scalpel, like
Yeah, it's a great point.
in the current arsenal of what rotary tools are. And there's a few different ways that I think a rotary is still very, very important today. And one of them is primarily that scalpel edge work. Another one is when you're doing very large amounts of heavy buffing because you can create less heat and overall better experience for your body. And then the third one would be polishing single stage or very finicky paint
Yeah,
systems that don't necessarily like the action of a dual action or forced rotation tool.
sure. That's a great point. And so to sum up the terminology of burning paint, to answer Dave's question kind of in a short form, is that usually it comes from over rotating an edge, right? The older bonnets used to be 7, 8, 9 inches long. And if you're coming up to the side of the hood, you might be over rotating the wool pad, right? You're trying to buff the hood, but part of the pad is on the fender and you're
Yep.
not mindful of that. And the pad is rotating and you end up burning an edge. So luckily today, with a lot of the technology, in lesson 2, we're going to talk a little bit more about pads and abrasives. But later in this lesson, we're going to show some different backing plates. It's pretty cool now because when Dave and I started doing this, we were using 8 and 9 inch wool pads. But now you can change out your backing plate And you can tailor your machine to have more of a 5 or a 6-inch pad that gives you a bit more precision on the edges that we didn't have 25 years ago.
Yeah, or even extensions with 3-inch pads or,
Yep.
or 3-inch backing plates.
Yes, yes.